Good morning, and thank you for joining us for this episode of SBB Live. I am your host and the publisher of Seniors Blue Book, Amanda Barton. I'm so excited today to bring on Miss Adrianne Gerard, who's joining us from the Terraces at Bonita Springs. How are you this morning, Adrianne?
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Amanda.
Absolutely. Now, you are no stranger to the industry, relatively new to the Terraces. Super excited to announce you're there after a long-standing career with another CCRC. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your history. I believe everybody has a why as to why they got into the industry. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your why.
Sure. I've been in the industry for about probably close to 20 years. Growing up, I had volunteered with my grandparents, visiting nursing homes from a young child. So it was kind of part of my upbringing. I was also impacted in my own family by having a grandmother who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So I think that became a part of kind of that transition, my background from being in more of an advertising marketing role to being in a senior community role. And I have loved it ever since.
Yeah, I think we all really do have a background story that brings us to this. I also had a grandmother that had dementia / Alzheimer's. But you really have just dug your heels in and learned so much about that disease process, and you become quite the wonderful public speaker when it comes to that. So I'll ask you some questions about that, but also tell me about the Terraces, your new role, and then tell us a little bit about the different types of continuing care retirement communities. I know we love to use acronyms in this industry. So, what exactly is a CCRC? How does the Terraces fit into the different types, the A, B, and C contract?
Sure, absolutely. I'm thrilled to be here. So the Terraces is a continuing care retirement community, also known as a life care or life plan community. So we have independent living, assisted living, memory support, skilled nursing, and rehab services all under one roof. So we have all of those options, and we are a true type A community, meaning that our residents, when they join the Terraces, they are paying an entrance fee and a monthly fee, but they are guaranteed access to the full continuum of care for the rest of their lives. So really, whether they might need any of those services as they go through that continuum, their monthly service fee does not then increase. It's not like, if they might need skilled nursing, it would now be a discount. So what's really included in that monthly service fee, and what they're buying is really that contract of care for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and the big difference between, the A contract and the B contract really is that, you do have access to it with a B. So talk to us a little bit about the differences between an A B, and a C.
Sure.
I really do think the A is obviously the best way to go, especially for someone like me with my dogs not being able to take care of me as they get older.
Exactly. It does afford the life care members, obviously, greater protection. And it does work. We get a lot of questions for those residents who have a long-term care policy. It works with their policies. We can assist them with that. With a type B, some of those are kind of called modified contracts, where their contract might cover a bit of assisted living or a portion of skilled nursing, whereas a type A contract is really going to cover all of those different levels of care. A C contract is typically one where you get the access, but not necessarily the guaranteed that rate or that monthly service fee not going up to what the current private pay rate is. And as we know, the rates at assisted living and memory support and skilled nursing can and typically are down here incredibly high. So it does give our members peace of mind. And I would say one of the biggest things that has really impacted in the last 2 years has been access. And I know obviously at the Terraces, one of the things that we did, and a number of other CCRCs did as well, was really or kind of limit the admissions or exclude them entirely during COVID, so that only our life care members would have access to those higher levels of care. So I think that was a real benefit that a lot of people may not have considered before, that if they need that level of care, we really took care of our life care members first and foremost. And I think that's pretty invaluable.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's a great explanation of the types of contracts that are out there. And I know there's also a lot of different contracts on the amount that you put down versus your refundability rate. And I think that depends really on the apartment that they choose, as well as the contract that they sign. But it's really good to sit down with someone like yourself and go through all of those options. Truly, this is almost like your long-term care insurance if you didn't get it done. So if I do have long-term care insurance, I can still use it though. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Exactly. We have a significant number of our residents who do have a long-term care policy. Obviously with life care, as you mentioned, it is like having that policy and having that protection along with it. I'll also touch on, sometimes we have folks that call and say, well, I'm not sure if I would qualify. They might have diabetes, heart disease, have had a previous cancer diagnosis. And I think there is some confusion on that. So we do recommend that they do, talk to us, because some of those disqualifiers for long-term care insurance would not necessarily disqualify them for life care. So I think sometimes people get concerned about that. But with the long-term care insurance, our residents that do or can choose to continue to keep their long-term care insurance policies, we do work with them. So if they need to submit a claim, if they need that higher level of care or even home care, we do assist them with that process, because it can be a pretty overwhelming process. Having worked with a number of families on that, it really does help to have someone who's well-versed in that assist them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely having somebody that's available for you is important when you're going through that, because filing that paperwork sometimes can be super, super overwhelming, because you're filing it because you don't feel good.
Exactly. It's typically an overwhelming time for a family or a spouse or an adult child. So having that support is super important. And I think that's, even for our residents that don't have the long-term care policy, that's why we have a kind of team to assist residents if they say, hey, I think I might be ready for assisted living, or I think I might need a little bit more support. It's really important, that care team, to assist them with that.
No, I couldn't agree more. Now, one thing that's pretty unique about the Terraces, in my opinion, is even though it is an A-type contract, CCRC, you do actually allow residents to come in from the outside and take advantage of your memory support and your assisted living. Now, again, I think your expertise, is obviously all about CCRCs, but for personal reasons, I think you have that extra layer of education when it comes to memory care. So talk to us a little bit about your memory support and why people should be coming to the Terraces versus some of the other communities that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. What is unique about the Terraces is we do have the different levels of care. Obviously, our life care members always come first. So if we have an opening in memory support or assisted living, if one of those life care members actually would like that unit or needs that additional support, they always come first. They always have that guaranteed access. But when we do have available units, we are open to the public on a month-to-month private pay basis. So sometimes families, residents maybe wait till they're a little too ready and might not qualify for the true life care and really do need that assistance coming in. So we are available on a month-to-month private pay basis. And we do have a few unique features with our staffing levels, which are really industry leading. We have nurses 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have an amazing memory support program run by a certified recreational therapist, and just an incredible team with, again, very high staffing ratios. So that just gives a little bit extra engagement with our residents, which in memory support in particular is so important to have that incredible team.
Yeah, it is important. And I know that you do such a great job over there. I've had a few folks that I know have given testimonials. So I'm really excited to have you join that team, that dynamic team over there. And I thank you so much for your valuable time this morning, Adrianne. I know that you guys are very busy giving tours. So thanks for taking time out of your day to talk with me this morning. Thank you
Well,
again.
we appreciate your time as well. And
Thanks,
thank
Adrianne.
you do helping to support not just the Terraces, but all of the different communities and home health agencies. I think your guide is really invaluable. And I know that it is a huge resource for us if we do have families that might need that additional support, or if we are at a wait list at the time. So we appreciate all that you do as well.
Awesome. I appreciate that plug, Adrianne. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
day.